RPA, Robotic Process Automation. Is it the answer to absolutely everything these days? Well, a lot of people would have you say it is. However, let's tell the truth for a moment and go, no, it's not. Robotic Process Automation is not AI. Robotic Process Automation is not physical robots doing something. RPA, put simply, is really just a bit of software that acts in the capacity of a person. So if you think of any process, business process, where someone might sit behind a PC, be looking at a screen and be capturing information into that screen. If they're following rules and it's pretty much the same thing that they do over and over again, that's where RPA fits. It's not appropriate in situations where people need to be creative about a response to something, where they need to make instantaneous judgments based on their feeling on something or around things that can't be put into a rules-based system. It's definitely not those things. It is a case of manual administrative tasks that are repetitive. So think of things like account processing. Think of things like inbound invoices being captured into an ERP solution. That's where RPA comes in. And is it a good thing? Well, it presents certain opportunities for benefits to organizations. So the usual one that people think of is it's going to reduce manual workload, it's going to do it a lot faster. Yeah, that's true, and that's what bots can hang a lot of their value on in terms of better responses, more accurate responses, and continuous responses. Bots don't get tired, they don't get sick, they don't go on leave, and they certainly don't come and ask you for a raise. The licensing, that's a different story, but you get what we're talking about. There are other areas, though, where RPA certainly has benefits for customers. And if you think about scenarios like risk reduction, for example, if there is sensitive information being processed or captured between systems, or something's coming on a form that might include personal information of clients, then having that done automatically by a system means that there's no exposure to potential risk from people miscapturing that information or manipulating that information. So there is potential for risk reduction in that space. Similarly, if timelines and constraints on an organization in terms of its capture of information are there and require the organization to get it done in very stringent timeframes, then making sure that your process is as efficient as possible and is able to get it done in that time frame, again, there's probably a good case for RPA there too. So think of different aspects where RPA could come in. It's manually administrative processes, it's high volume transactional processes so that there is multiple iterations to be done. It's consistent processes that don't have a wide variation to them and exceptions that need to be handled. And then you have a situation when RPA is probably going to be very useful. That, along with the opportunities in terms of risk reduction and efficiency from fewer errors captured and fewer issues in terms of that, that's where RPA will come about. There are a number of platforms out there that offer RPA services. We've chosen a particular one to work with, but essentially the services are probably the more important thing than the platform. And the services really comprise three areas. Consulting. Consulting is really where business analysts and business process engineers come into the process and look at what is happening within an organization, offer opportunities to identify where you can improve that process or even revolutionize that process. And then beyond that, look at how that translates into opportunities for automation of parts or all of that process. Once that's done, then that allows for the technical development team to come in and work alongside the analyst who will capture the initial process side of things into a platform and then complete that automation, test that automation, and then support that in a deployment. You do that to make sure that once you take it live, you're actually seeing all the real variations that perhaps the business wasn't aware of actually take place. You cater for those, stabilize the process automation that's put in place, and then hand that over to support and maintenance team. So three areas: analysis, consulting, then the development, and then support and maintenance in terms of that. And again, RPA is not a solution for everything, despite what everybody says. RPA is certainly just that piece of software that's going to act in an administrative process, enable faster capture, more accurate capture, and potentially reduce risk in terms of business process as well. Definitely an exciting space, definitely an opportunity for customers to leverage in terms of looking at what they do and even enable them to meet customer expectations in terms of faster execution of their business process. It's non-intrusive. So in other words, that means it doesn't require programmatic intervention in the past. Well, programmatic intervention, meaning it's not at a low level of code. Effectively, RPA sits as glue, sits as a person, utilizes the existing UI and capabilities of applications an organization already has. Bots are not that expensive, particularly when you consider that your bot is going to be able to run 24 hours a day, never out sick, never asking for leave, and doing exactly what you asked it to. Almost a perfect employee. In fact, you probably saved enough on the coffee in order to afford the bot.